Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks at TaughtToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. You've heard that saying before. Oh, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And people say that as if to impugn the system, or, people today will talk about, oh, it's capitalism, it's letting these rich get richer and the poor get poor. But the reality is, in every culture, from even your communism and socialism and all these other various versions and economic systems, you still have that basic principle of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Except in things like socialism and communism, you have more people on the poor end and getting poorer and becoming more equal, I guess is the way they like to say it, but equal on the lower end, not rising up to the higher end. But there's a very specific reason in universal law and the way God set things up as to why those rich people get richer and why the poor people get poorer. It's because they do different things. They think differently. They act differently. They invest differently. All you got to do is go around time when people are getting tax returns. They're getting their refunds because they paid in too much tax during the year, because they're W-2 employees in the U.S. Whatever the version may be in your country, they earn wages, they get their taxes taken out first, and then at the end of the year they have to file taxes and get the remainder that they overpaid back. But what do they do with that money? Do they go out and invest? They start a new business? They invest in some stocks? What do? No. They go out and buy something. They use it for trips. They pay off a debt. And that may sound good, but instead of using that money to generate more wealth, they spend it. It's off, it's used, it's wasted, and they're right back to where they started. But the rich and people with the rich mindset are constantly focused and looking at things. How can they invest this money? Oh, I got this extra amount of money that I wasn't expecting. How can I use that to turn more of a profit and bring more wealth into my life? I've told people this over the years, and many people just don't seem to grasp it, but if I have some new big expense come up, or something that's going to be a big expense, or something that I want to do. So for example, say you want to buy a new car. Let's say you want to lease a car. And so your payment's going to be $600 a month. I'm just throwing a number out there, throwing a high number out there for most people. Well, instead of saying, well, now I'm going to have $600 less a month and I get made to work some extra hours at work, what you should be thinking is, how can I start a business or create a new product line or whatever it may be in your situation that earns more than $600 a month? So when a new expense is generated, it's only generated after you've earned enough profit to cover that expense. So you're always going ahead. And then also, like say the car lease, say you stop, I don't want the car anymore. The lease runs out. You still have that $600 a month of income coming in. And hopefully by then it's built up to even more. You're building assets. And you're using the assets to pay for the liabilities. And most people are just consuming, they're spending their money, they're wasting it, they're throwing away. And that's why the poor get poorer. When I was a teenager, I would drive my car. No one else would do this, but I would drive my car into the heart of the ghetto because I had lived there when I was 17 years old. I had moved out and had an apartment in the ghetto by myself, and it was not great, but everybody treated me well because they realized I'm just a kid there. I'm not causing problems, and everybody kind of looked out for me. But I never had any problems there. Everybody was good, but it was a dangerous area. But I would drive in there to take kids that wanted to go to church. And so when I would drive in there, people would have new shoes. And this is the heart of the ghetto. The projects, these are people living in government assistance and government housing. They're not able to feed, clothe, and house themselves. But one of the things was that the kids would have new shoes. They'd have new video game systems. And these are people that are supposed to be in such need they can't even afford to feed themselves. They have food stamps. They can't even afford to clothe themselves. They have clothing programs that come in and give them new clothes. they can't afford to transport themselves. The busing system comes, and they have free transportation from the city's busing system. And I'm not saying this to criticize them, but see, that is, and that's what television does to you. If you watch television, you're getting inundated and programmed to be a consumer. And that's what these poor kids and the parents, and which many times were young people themselves, they had been indoctrinated into consuming. None of them were thinking about, you know what, I need to invest my little bit of money I have. Let's go out and buy Air Jordans for the kids so they can keep up with everyone else, so they don't look poor. Now, I'm not saying the kids should have trash shoes, but you don't have to go to that extreme and spend that much money when you have nothing. If you have an abundance, then go out and buy the nicest things, the finest things. That's great. Enjoy life. God gives you freely of all things, so you ought to enjoy it. But when you don't have things and you don't have money and you do get it, if you don't want to be one of the poor that's getting poorer, you're going to have to, at some point, do something to generate more wealth. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, the only outcome that can be is more poverty. That's just the way it is. But the rich are on the other side. They may even go bankrupt, and they still wind up back to a place of great wealth and riches. I cannot stress this enough today. You have to change your mentality. And it may take a while. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. I don't care if you have $1 to your name, or maybe less than that because of all your debts. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care where you live. I don't care what your clothes are, or your style, or any of that. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about your mindset. Because you can get a bunch of nice things, have a bunch of money in the bank account, and end up right back into poverty because you haven't changed your mindset. I know I had that because every time I would get a business going and have some success, then you get dragged back down to failure. Because that's your homeostasis point. That's your natural leveling point, is back in failure and mediocrity and poverty. You have to change your mindset. Now, I've written a number of books that will help you on this path to changing your mindset, renewing your mind, so you can be in the position to be that person who thinks like a wealthy person. So then you're not the poor getting poorer, you're the poor that went to becoming rich. And then you are the rich that gets richer. Because you're going to be of that mindset. You're not going to make the same decisions. You're not going to be a consumer and consuming and spending and spending and spending. You're going to be investing your money. And when you do use your money, it's for wise things. And if you have a new, larger expense, you're going to create something that generates enough income to pay for it, because you have that wealthy mindset, that rich mindset. And so a couple books I want to suggest of mine that you should get that will really help you in this endeavor. One of them is the 7-Day Positivity Diet. It's just a quick little booklet that will help you get in the right frame of mind, do something real quick to get yourself in the right frame of mind to not sabotage yourself. And the other book is 600 Wealth, Prosperity, and Abundance Affirmations. I go into some of the subconscious mind and how to readapt yourself to the wealthy mindset. And then there's 600 affirmations that you can use, whichever ones really resonate with you. Use them to reprogram yourself, because you have programming, whether you want to believe it or not. That's the programming that makes you choose the store brand instead of the regular brand because you want to save money, or makes you think about doing things the cheapest way instead of doing what you actually want. And all these little programming and those things that make you think you need to consume, you need the newest technology, when it's actually not going to help you at all over what you currently have. These are all things that are programmed in, and these books will help you, push you to great success. And another book I want to leave you with is my book, Prayer That Actually Works. This book will help you in your prayers, getting them faith-filled, so you can be confident in walking in faith, believing God, and receiving. As Jesus said, according to your faith, be it unto you. But you need to have a stable foundation for your faith to believe and pray in faith, believing, and you will receive. My friend, I want to see you go to be one of those people who is the rich getting richer. Not so you can consume, not so you can just have a bunch of money, because that's not really what it's all about. You don't need you can live very modestly and give all your money away and use it to invest in new businesses. So then you build businesses and that helps other people because now there's more employment and you can run a good company that helps people and blesses them and blesses the world. Creates a product that is valuable and useful for the world. It's not about just consuming. It's not about having a bunch of things or looking a certain way so you can impress people. It's about being the best you could possibly be to the glory of God. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.